Hey everybody, welcome back. Jay Wade here for part two of Louder Than Life 2025. Full band lineup. We're going through this, everybody. Sorry it's been so long since part one. A week of really crappy weather. If you've been paying attention to the weather, Midwest has been getting hit, so we had some crappy weather, as well as some other life stuff that came up. But I'm here for part two. We're moving on to day two of Louder Than Life Festival. The point of this, everyone, to reiterate from the first one, is that I'm so out of touch with metal that I want to know, out of 160 plus bands at this 4-day festival, how many of those 160 plus bands have I ever even heard of? Meaning, whether or not I've heard one of their songs is irrelevant. Have I just heard the name, there is a band called this? And then after we figure out how many of these bands I've heard of out of 160, we will break it down into what my personal festival would be, based on the bands on that that I like and that I personally care for and would like to see. So this is going to be interesting. A recap of round one. If you have not seen it, and you can go back and watch it. If you don't want to, I'll recap it real quick. Did not miss much, guys. Because out of 41 bands that are playing on night one, yeah, I'm aware of 11 of them. I know 11 of those bands. Those 11 that I know of are Fear Factory, the Black Dahlia Murder, Exodus, Cannibal Corpse, Marilyn Manson, Rob Zombie, Carcass, Cavalera, Down, Lamb of God, and Slayer. So this should be interesting. I mean, we're only on day one, and out of 41 bands, I've only heard of 11 of them. Come on, guys. We got to do something here. And it turns out that I may have known 12 of them. Drain was a band that I was questioning, and I had determined that if they were a new metal band from like the late 90s, early 2000s, then yes, I had heard of them. They are not, so I have not, and that is irrelevant. So we got 11 bands out of 41 on day one. So now we're moving on to day two, everyone. And we're going to, this should be fun. Let me switch over and bring up the band list here. Okay, and here we go. Once again, we are on day two here, which would be Friday, September 19th, 2025 in Louisville, Kentucky. Once again, we start at the bottom. That is stage 6. Work our way to stage 1. Start at the bottom of the list, as the top of the list is the headliner. And let's get going, everybody. Stage 6 let me pull up my little list over here, because I am keeping track of the bands that I've seen and everything. So, all right, stage 6. What do we got here? We've got XCOM. I've never heard of them. Uncured. Never heard of them. But Uncured, pepperoni. Uncured ham. Which is it? Is it uncured pepperoni or is it uncured ham? Or is there both? I don't know. And does it matter? Not really. Savage Hands sounds pretty brutal, but I have never heard of them. Nope. Aurora Wave. Never heard of them. Islander. Is that different from them two brothers? What are they, like Island Boys or something, with the crazy, like, each one has 3 dreadlocks, like they got full sets of hair, but like each one has like 3 dreadlocks and each one's like that big. Oh, that looks terrible. That looks terrible. I think we got a thumbnail right there, everybody. That was bad. But y'all know what I'm saying. Islander, is that like those two dudes, they're like, they didn't make it in the rap or hip hop or whatever they were trying to do, so now they're jumping into the metal scene. But as I see just out of the corner of my eye, there's not necessarily only metal on this, but kind of, which we will get to. And then Dead. I assume that's, let me know in the comments, is it Dead? D-E-D? Like, I just assume it's just Dead. And I've never heard of them either. So we've got Stage 6. I have not heard of any of the bands on Stage 6 for day 2 of the Louder Than Life Festival 2025. Moving on to Stage 5, we've got Thornhill. I've never heard of them. Walls of Jericho. I don't know. Is that the wrestler guy? The WWE wrestler guy has a band? Is that his band? That would be terrible if if he named his band after his wrestling name. Walls of Jericho, no, not the actual story, which is an amazing story. And which I think is directly, the biblical story, the Walls of Jericho, I think is directly related in a way to the pyramids and the construction of them. Y'all can think about that. You get me. Walls of Jericho, nope, there's a chick singer there. So that's not that. Well, what's the name of his band then? Jericho Wrestler Band. Fozzy. That's right. I've heard that name before, Fozzy. Okay. So not the wrestler guy. So Walls of Jericho, never heard of them. Throne, never heard of them either. Miss May I. You know what? I don't think I have. I'm thinking of something similar that I've heard in a movie or a TV show or something. Suicide Silence. I have not heard of them either. Brilliant name for a metal band. Who the hell is this? Whitechapel. Once again, guys, with the crazy freaking fonts and stuff that you can't read. I mean, dude, I get it, but dude, I mean, come on, at least make it legible. Like you're scream singing. If you're scream singing or whatever you're doing, like with your loud screaming vocals, dude, I dig it. Dude. I dig it. All I'm saying is, make it understandable. Like Pantera. Phil screams his lungs out, dude, but you can understand every single word he says. As opposed to the I can't stand that, dude. I can't stand it. It's like, dude, I Hate God is the absolute worst band I have ever seen live. Dude, they played the same song for 50 minutes, but they just took periodic, like, 10 to 15 second breaks, like, every 4 to 5 minutes. It was absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. So bad. And why Deftones opened for them? Like, it wasn't an I Hate God show, but it was Deftones, I Hate God, who was it? Pantera and Zombie, I believe was the lineup. So, but the point is that there were 4 bands, 3 of them were freaking awesome, and Deftones went on before I Hate God. Now, I understand, like, the time, we're talking, like, 96, 97, so I get it, you know, Deftones hadn't quite paid their dues or whatever, you know, I get it, but, like, just going as far as, like, music and what is good, yes, what a travesty. I mean, it's awesome, dude. I saw Deftones that early in their career. Adrenaline was the only album they had out at the time. It was fucking rad, dude. Nobody knew who the hell they were. Like, everybody was like, who the hell are Deftones? They came out and rocked that shit, dude. Chino doing a freaking stage dive off a 40-foot stack, dude. Bring that shit. It was awesome. But just think about what I'm saying here. There was a time where it was understandable why it happened, but regardless of it being understandable, I went to a concert where Deftones played before I Hate God. Terrible. Terrible. But Whitechapel, never heard of them. Let's not get off point here. Hatebreed, I have heard of Hatebreed. Absolutely. You hear me talking about, 90s and shit. I was 16 in 95. So yeah, dude, I've heard of Hatebreed. So we got Hatebreed. I have heard of Hatebreed. And we will move on now, everyone, to stage, what are we on? Stage 4. Stage 4. I almost said Lilac. Come on, Jay. Just read it, dude. Liliac. Never heard of them. Glory Hammer, Glory Hole, and Army Hammer are the two things that popped into my head when I read that. We're moving on. Demon Hunter, no, but it reminds me of the show Supernatural, which I love. Dean Winchester, dude, is the freaking man, okay? Sammy's cool, right? Bobby is awesome. Dean is the man, dude. And that show done Crowley dirty. I'm just saying it right now, dude. They done him really dirty. But whatever. It is what it is. And they need to do at least a reboot season. Well, not a reboot because it'd be just one, but at the very least, they need to do a sequel season where they can redeem that shitty ass finale. I'm just saying it, guys. We all know we love the show. We love the characters. I mean, it's okay. It's not going to ruin our life, the finale, but dude, come on. They could have done a lot better with that finale than what they did. But Demon Hunter, have never heard of them. Ailstorm, I have heard of Ailstorm. I don't know that I've ever heard any of their songs, but I have heard the name of the band. Dragon Force, I have never heard of before. Powerwolf, see, it's got a font, but it's not, it's legible. There we go, guys. Powerwolf, I've never heard of them either. Dream Theater, I am very familiar with, everyone. Dream Theater, I had 2 of their albums when I was a teenager. We're talking like 94, 95, 96, 97, in that range there. Had 2 of their albums, awesome. Awake was one of them, and I can't remember what the other one was. Good stuff, loved it. Have not listened to them since those days, though, since probably 2000s. So, to be honest, I didn't even know that they were still out there and doing stuff. That's cool, man. That's cool. They are very unique. They got a style, and I can dig it, man. I can dig it. So, on stage 4 of day 2, we've got 2 bands that I have heard of. We've got Ailstorm and Dream Theater. So, let's move on now to stage 3. We are right here, everybody. Hot Milk. Sounds disgusting. If you're going for metal and you're probably looking for disgusting, I ain't going to complain on it, dude. I ain't going to hate on it. You know what I'm saying? Cool. Hot Milk. That's gross as shit. Still never heard of them. Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. I have not heard of them. The apparatus bit sounds familiar. Like, is there another band, whether it's metal or not, that's called just Apparatus or something Apparatus, but it's not Red Jumpsuit Apparatus? Because I've never heard that. But just Apparatus, as far as a band name, sounds familiar to me. Magnolia Park, never heard of them, but Sugar Magnolia it might be my favorite Grateful Dead song. Of Mice and Men, I've heard of the book and the movies, but never the band. Story of the Year, I've never heard of them either. Hollywood Undead, I have heard the name, and I believe they wear masks and whatnot. Let me know in the comments if I'm correct on that. I believe they wear masks, like a Slipknot type of a group. It's like Slipknot, Mudvayne, what's that other band that did Masks around that time too. But anyway, I do not believe I've ever heard a single song for them, Hollywood Undead, but I do know the name, definitely. All Time Low is open or is headlining that stage, which would be stage 3. So we do know Hollywood Undead on stage 3, day 2. Let's move on right on to stage 2 here. Okay. See, we should be getting to where even my limited knowledge of metal over the past 30 years should start to recognize band names. So I'm stoked here. We're finally getting there. Violent Vera, I've never heard of them. North Lane, never heard of them. Eminence, never heard of them. Purus? Is it Purus or Purus? Or is that a V? It's not a V. How that's how my brain works. I'm trying to figure out how to audibly pronounce a P, a V, and an R. Let's try this one more time just because it's funny and how much of a moron I am right now. Vriss. Oh my gosh. Guys, oh wow. Dude, that is unreal. That is unreal. Trying to pronounce a P, V, and an R in that order that's crazy, guys. Try that at home, man. I hope you're laughing as much as I am right now. Okay, I've never heard of them. And is the exclamation mark, is that a part of their name? So is it, like, if it is Purus, is it Purus exclamation mark? Or is it Pvris exclamation mark? Or is the exclamation mark just a part of the artsy-fartsy font type shit that I've been talking about before, where some of these guys, you can't even read the name of the band? I don't know, dude. But let me know what's going on with this band name. Wait a minute. Is that a J and not a P? Is that Juris? But does that even make sense? Juris? What is Juris? Dude. Okay, hold on. We're looking this one up because now I'm confused. Because once I looked at it again, I'm like, well, I guess with all the fancy shit, it could be a J. No, oh, okay. Yep. Like they're rocking the Latin shit. That is a V. Because like Latin, the V, U. Okay. This says pop band, though. Dude, no way. Hold on, dude. Why is there like on day 1, what the is going on here? The Netherlands. Okay. Well, that would explain a lot of because I'm reading it as, American English. So Netherlands, that would explain that. I'm not sure exactly how that would be pronounced then. But I could still even be right that they're going with the Latin U with the V and everything like that. What I'm doing over here, guys, I Googled the band here. I'm just looking at. Okay, I don't know. I don't know anything about them, but it says pop band, which again, whatever. I'm not going to this festival anyway, so, however much it is, it's already not worth my money because out on the first day of the festival, out of 41 bands, I have only heard of 11 of them. So, never heard of them, but let me know what's going on with this band. Is it Purus? Is it Pvris? Or am I just way off? Like, help me with because Netherlands, so help me with in the comments, help me, get a grasp on the language there and how this would be pronounced, please very much, I thank you, sirs and ma'ams. Dayseeker, I've never heard of them either. Spirit Box, I have heard of the ghost hunting device Spirit Box, which I would like to use one, but never in my apartment. Yeah, okay, like in the digital EVPs, that stuff, it like whether, okay, like I'm not going to get into a whole discussion on that, but I absolutely do believe in supernatural. Because I believe in that God in heaven is my Father and Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. And in my opinion, if I believe those things, I absolutely have to believe in supernatural. It all goes hand in hand. And not talking like the show Supernatural, like vampires and stuff like that. I mean, I'm sure there are entities, and I'm absolutely sure demons are real. And I'm absolutely sure that there are beings of some sort, creatures. Dude, there are things all around us that we cannot see, we cannot feel, we cannot hear, that we have no idea around us, but they are right next to us, and they are actually right next to us. And I'm talking about dimensional things here. Like, third dimension is kind of what we're in, I guess. Like, we can't even imagine what a fourth dimension would be like. So I'm talking dimensions here. I'm not talking like weird, like vampires and goblins and ghouls, supernatural TV show kind of shit, even though Dean Winchester is the frickin' man. But my point is that stuff interests me very much. And I love the show Project Fear, the channel Project Fear. Spirit Box, dude. My point, though, with all this stuff is I would never ghost hunt in my own home. Screw that, dude. Screw that. Yeah, I'm like, okay, I bought a Spirit Box. I want to just test it out and make sure it works. So I plug it in while I'm sitting in my living room, and I get some weird, creepy shit coming through telling me they want to kill me, and I gotta live here? Dude, no, screw that. I don't want to know what is in my home. No, thank you. But Spirit Box, I have heard of the ghost hunting device, but I've never heard of the band. Sleep Token, I have never heard of them either. So there we go. And which brings us to the main stage, stage 1 on was it Friday? Sorry, I got lost in thought there. And we'll get to, this is why my eyes caught this band right here. I'm circling, and I got lost because I remembered some lyrics of theirs, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. Friday, let's get to it here, guys. Everybody, the main stage. Nonpoint, I have never heard of them. Dope, I have never heard of them. Static X, I have unfortunately heard of them. I can't recall. I mean, I know I've heard of their song. I know I heard a couple of their songs, but I can't. Them and Power Man, was it 5,000 or something? Like, I can't. They're the same to me. They're one and the same, dude. I can't tell them the fuck apart. So, but I do know I have heard Static X. I know that for sure. So we got them on the, okay. Okay, yes. Insane Clown Posse. Dude, I love Insane Clown Posse's early works, right? Their early albums, like, Amazing Jekyll Brothers was awesome. Well, it wasn't awesome, but it was solid. It was solid. They lost me, dude. They lost me at a certain point. But my point is, my question is, why is a rap group playing at a metal festival? That's like telling me that Eminem has been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Once again, that is telling me Eminem, a rap and hip hop artist has been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. If you want to do that shit, change the name of it to the Music Hall of Fame. But yeah, I am that guy. It's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. If it ain't rock and roll, get the F out of here, dude. That's all there is to it. I'm not trying to be a dick, but I mean, it's called the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We're not putting Joe Namath in the fucking Baseball Hall of Fame, are we? Up in Cooperstown. Get the F out of here. You know what I'm saying? No, it ain't happening that way. And then some people might be like, well, Insane Clown Posse, they have some songs that are kind of rock and got some, some electric guitar in them and stuff. And yeah, you're right. And my response to that would be, I vividly remember lyrics of theirs when they were taking a shot at Kid Rock. And the lyrics were, we ain't never gonna mix rap with rock and roll like somebody else we know. Then a couple albums later, they had some fucking rock metal kind of sounding shit, some heavy guitar and band sounding shit. It's like, dude, I mean, I'm just saying, dude. And this is not a shot at ICP at all, man. Or Juggalos or Juggalettes, man. Dude, I'm down with the clown. Cool, whatever. Dude, lots of good memories. Lots of good shit, dude. Went to see him in concert. Many times. Like 4 or 5 times, dude. Sitting in school the next day. I had long hair down in the middle of my back. I know it's hard to believe now, but I did. Sitting in school the next day after an Insane Clown Posse show down at, I think it was called The Garage down in Cincinnati. And sucking on different strands of my hair and tasting different flavors of Faygo. Got the Moon Mist over here, grape over here. Dude, it's not a knock. I'm not knocking on them. I'm just saying. How you gonna diss somebody like that and that specific? We ain't never gonna mix rap with rock and roll. And then you do it shortly after. I'm just saying, dude. And I'm just whatever, dude. I'm just saying. I'm free to just say. So I'm doing so. I remember the first time I heard Insane Clown Posse, dude, it was Dead Body Man. I fell in love, dude. And me and some friends went up to Toledo. We drove up to Toledo. They did a autograph signing session to promote Great Milenko. I got my shirt somewhere. It's in Lockbox. Great Milenko t-shirt, Shaggy and Two Dope autographed to me. It was the most amazing fucking time, dude. Like, the whole trip was cool with me and my boys and shit, and like everything, like the adventure itself, but the way that Shaggy and Violent J handled the signing process itself was brilliant. If you want me to do a video just on that trip, which consisted of over 120 miles an hour on the highway, a freak out of nowhere thunderstorm that literally only hit over the music store where ICP was signing. But mainly, if you want to hear me talk about their brilliance, and I'm serious, guys, absolutely brilliant way of doing that autograph signing session, then hit like and let me know in the comments. Just be like, ICP video. That's all you got to say. Or just ICP would be enough. But it was absolutely brilliant how they handled that. And there was a lot of people like, yes, the shtick of the clowns and everything, the thing that they do with their music, yes, okay, that's there. But like, there's a lot deeper meaning, dude, behind what they were doing. And it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So yes, I have heard of them, seen them in concert. Very interesting. They're going to be at this festival, but whatever. I'm sure they'll fit right in. Seriously. Mudvayne, yes, I have heard of Mudvayne. Not because I wanted to, but because a buddy loves them. But I have heard them. Breaking Benjamin. Yes, I've heard one of their songs to my knowledge. I've heard one of their songs for sure. some video game on my PS. I'm not sure what game it was. Can't even remember what the song is, to be honest. But I do know that it was Breaking Benjamin because they would run the little credits up there at the top. You know what I'm saying? Avenged Sevenfold, I have heard of them. I'm not sure that I've ever heard any of their songs, but I have heard of them. So on, no way. Excuse me, here on day 2, we're looking worse off than we did on day 1. Once again, to remind you, on day 1, out of 41 bands I was aware of, as in I had heard of, 11 of them out of 41 bands. So you would think as the festival progresses, like day 2, I would start to know more of the bands, right? And then day 3, and so on and so forth, right? No, we have dropped in numbers, guys. Out of 41 bands on day 2 of the festival, I've heard of 9 of them. I have heard of 9 of the 41 bands playing day 2. Those bands are, once again, Hatebreed, Ailstorm, Dream Theater, Hollywood Undead, Static X, Insane Clown Posse, Mudvayne, Breaking Benjamin, Avenged Sevenfold, and I can feel all of you screaming at me now through the TV. I get it. This is wild. This is wild, man. So now with it gone down in numbers on day 2, I'm really wondering, like when we get to the end of this little series here, and we get to, of the bands that I have heard of, and then I narrow it down to the ones that I actually care about and would go see and pay money to go see, that for sure is going to be a one-day festival. And but now the question is, how many stages are we going to have? Is it going to be just 1? Is it going to be 2? Maybe it'll be 2 stages with 7 bands on each so that we don't have to do 3 stages with like 4 bands. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But we're not looking good so far. I know that much. Stay tuned, everybody. The rest of these series will not take as long as this one did. I do sincerely apologize. Like I said, I had some bad weather and some personal life stuff came up, and I had to get it all sorted, and the weather was knocking me out with some of my equipment. But we will have part 3, 4, and 5 coming up here soon. But we're going to do this. Is it louder than life, or is it louder than shit? I don't know. But at the end, we will find out. My old unaware ass of metal music. I don't care if you guys are laughing at me. I'm laughing at me. I think it's funny. That's why I did this whole thing, because it's hilarious. Because I knew that out of 160 plus bands that I would not know. At this point, will I even know 30 of them? I don't know, man. I don't know, but hit subscribe, please. Ring that bell. We're almost to 8K subscribers here, and ring that bell so that you don't miss the following parts, and we determine what my Louder Than Life festival lineup would be. Thank you guys very much. I love y'all. I appreciate it. Until next time, y'all have a great and safe night.